Hello again, and welcome everybody to this amazing Lunch and Learn. And I just want to remind everybody that this powerful and amazing Lunch and Learn is brought to you by family partners of Morris and Sussex counties. And if you would like more information about family partners, I'm going to put that information right below this video. Moving along, today is joining us Paula Roa, who is the program coordinator from Kinship Navigator Program. Care Plus, New Jersey. Welcome, Paula.
Everyone, thank you for having me. I'm very excited to give you a little information on our program. So without any more delay, we'll start. So just a little bit about our program. I work for the Kinship Navigator Program, and we service families in all of northern New Jersey. So those counties include Warren, Sussex, Morris, Passaic, Bergen, and Hudson County. And we are providing them with a funding each year for their families. The type of caregivers and families that we service are non-biological parents, so grandparents, aunts, uncles, siblings, family friends who have taken in children into their home or have custody of them or are taking care of them. And we provide services for these families, resources in their communities, special funding for clothing, hygiene products, school supplies, furniture, things like that they'll need each year. And our case managers assess families' needs every single year to see what they need, what has changed, if the family is 1 year in need of back to school supplies and the next year need assistance to pay their rent or their a utility bill or an aftercare program or camp, things like that. We'll always help families be able to meet their needs. Our standards, our eligibility for providing services are, just having custody of the children, being able to provide birth certificates, social security cards for themselves, as well as the caregivers. And every single year we'll collect proof of income and proof of address for the caregivers. So we do verify that the caregivers are within the communities and the counties that we are eligible to service, and make sure that they are having physical residential custody of the children, that they are living with them. We can service families if the biological mother or father are disabled and are currently living in the household with the caregiver. This is the only scenario, however, that we would allow a biological parent and a caregiver to cohabitate. So if a caregiver and the biological mother or father are living in the same household with no known disabilities, no other problems, then we unfortunately wouldn't be able to service them, as the biological parents wouldn't be able to live in the same residence as the caregiver.
Thank you. Now continue.
Okay. Another service that our program facilitates for caregivers is the Kinship Legal Guardianship for caregivers. So I like to explain Kinship Legal Guardianship to anyone who's unfamiliar with it. It's usually a step above custody and a step below adoption. So caregivers may choose to go for Kinship Legal Guardianship if they would like to have a more stable stance on their custody of the children. They would like to have the final say for education, for medical reasons. Having Kinship Legal Guardianship will usually help caregivers maintain this balance and be able to have that final say for the children they're caring for. Kinship legal guardianship is also beneficial for families that are on the lower income side. So if they are very low income, they could qualify for a subsidy that comes with kinship legal guardianship. And that's usually $250 a month per child that they could benefit from. It's additional income coming into their household just for having kinship legal guardianship. I do like to stress and specify that if a caregiver does opt to go kinship legal guardianship route with our program or with a DCP&P office, it does not terminate the biological parents' rights for the children. So if they were at any point after a caregiver has obtained kinship legal guardianship, they wanted to reinstate their parental rights with the children, it is absolutely a possibility. It doesn't terminate their rights. It just solidifies the caregiver as the caregiver for the children. It really helps them financially and legally to take care of the children. So we always encourage families to, you know, some don't need kinship legal guardianship. Sometimes judges in court cases, they will give custody and will provide medical, educational decision-making to the caregivers just with their custody. Some don't have that and do choose to go the route for kinship legal guardianship. So our program facilitates this process from the very beginning all the way to the court hearing date, where we will represent the families. We will be there to support them through the entire process. The KLG process typically takes between 3 to 6 months. Now with COVID, it has been a little longer of a process. Some courts are still, you know, trying to scramble, working remotely. So I've seen some of my cases take 6 to 9 months while they're in this process. So it can be a lengthy process, and we're very communicative with everyone, making sure that they're aware, you know, that things are going well. It's just COVID, or it's just the court, or whatever the holdup is. But we advise them throughout the entire process. We help compose all of the paperwork, which is pretty substantial to obtain kinship legal guardianship. We do it all on our end, mail out their application to the court ourselves, and are in constant communication with the courts on their behalf. So this is definitely a benefit that our program does offer. DCP&P offices also offer this. So I like to, you know, let families know if they are currently with a DCP&P caseworker, they have an open case with them, to always inquire about kinship legal guardianship through their program as well, because I do know that their subsidy is substantially more than the one that we can offer. So we, even if it's not beneficial to our program, we always try to steer families in the best possible outcome, whatever is easiest for them, and ultimately what will help them the most. So that's basically what our programs can help with. We only really service families once a year, and our fiscal year works from July 1st to June 30th. We'll have our navigator contact families if we haven't heard from them in a while, just to let them know, hey, it's time to reapply for services. Are you still taking care of this child or children in your household? So we do try to be proactive, letting them know to reapply and get services with us again. But we provide a resource packet to all of our families when we do home assessments, and it has outside resources like family success centers that we partner with in each county. We provide contact information for food stamps, for housing, for TANF offices, for Social Security offices in their counties. And we really try to arm our families with as much resources and as much information as possible, so that even if we're not servicing them throughout the year, they can contact us and we help orient them into what programs or what resources are most available for them or most beneficial during Christmas time, during Thanksgiving, especially during the holidays. We find that a lot of families become needy for assistance with food or with Christmas gifts. So we try to find out what partners, what resources in their communities can help them if we're not able to.
So Paula, you guys do a lot in there, right?
Yes, we try.
Yeah.
To help as much as we can. And right now, you know, our program is really doing a big push to get our name out, get our program out, all of this information out to as many partners, as many community members as possible, because we find that, you know, it's not a program that a lot of people know about or really take advantage of. So we want to spread the word, make it as known as possible, and answer any questions, and really help as many families as we can.
Well, definitely, it's a lot of information and it's a great resource for families to know. And we want to make sure that today everybody knows about, you know, the resources that you guys have. And also we allow 20 minutes for all the questions. We have some questions in here, Paula, that I would like to go over with you because we want to go in details and make sure everybody understands everything. It's kind of a little confused when we're talking about resources, providers, organization, all of that. So we want to make sure everybody understands. So let's go back. Go ahead.
I'm just going to share my screen. I have a PowerPoint in case anyone wants to jot down some notes. We can do that.
So let's go back in relation to the difference between the Kinship Navigator Program and Care Plus New Jersey, because there is a difference in between those organizations, but you know, like you can explain that better, how does that work, so like everybody can understand that part.
Yeah, absolutely. So Care Plus is the nonprofit private corporation that I work for. Within Care Plus, we have different branches of programs that provide counseling, therapy, medication monitoring, substance abuse assistance, residential help. So Care Plus really, and I have listed here all the things that we provide at Care Plus. The program that I work for and that I'm speaking to you about today is the Kinship Navigator Program. And the Kinship Navigator Program does exist under different branches in New Jersey. So for Northern New Jersey, it is with Care Plus. There are other branches like the Salvation Army that assists with other counties that we don't particularly service. So if anyone's in, you know, Sussex, Essex County or Hunterdon or, you know, they're down the shore, Monmouth County, those are different agencies that would be facilitating Kinship Navigator services to our families. But all over New Jersey, all the counties in New Jersey do have a Kinship Navigator program that families can utilize.
And Paula, would you please tell us a little bit about yourself and the role that you have within the organization?
Yeah, so I am the program coordinator. So my main role is to partner with other resources, with other facilities around New Jersey to kind of spread the word, market our program. I also do case management. So I will go out, visit families, and help provide these services to our families that qualify for kinship wraparound services or kinship legal guardianship services. So I kind of have a little bit of experience everywhere, every part of the program itself.
And in addition to the resources that you just mentioned, like what other resources does Kinship Navigator Program has at this moment that families can utilize?
Yeah, so I listed a couple of family success centers here that we do partner with. And these are the main resources that we like to promote to our families if they're ever in need for support groups or they need activities for the children, or if they need food pantries or help with, different activities for the kids. Family success centers are really well equipped with resources that they can give to these families, programs that they can enroll them in. So in every county that we service, we have here a list of different family success centers that we do work with, that we stay connected with each month, kind of updating what is available. I also like to point out that we have a Facebook group that we promote a ton of different upcoming resources and events coming up in different counties so that families can stay updated, they can stay relevant on what's going on and be able to utilize as many of these resources and events and programs that, we don't particularly offer, but that we're in connection with, that we know about. We promote everything.
And in relation to the requirements to get involved with youth services, would you please pull up that PowerPoint so everybody can see that?
I'm so sorry, what was that?
In relation to the requirements to get involved with youth services, would you please pull up the PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. So for requirements and eligibility to the program, we're just looking for kin families. So that could be blood relation, marriage, if they already have kinship legal guardianship of a child. And really the main requirement is that they have custody or have been taking care of the child for longer than 6 months. And then they would qualify for our stipend each year. Once a family is enrolled in the program, we do ask for them to provide proof of birth certificate, social security cards, the custody document stating that they have custody, or a notarized letter from the biological parents stating that they can be the guardian of their children. And those items, like these first 4, we only collect once a year. Once in the entire enrollment of the family. As long as none of this information changes, we won't ask for it for the upcoming years. What we do collect every single year is proof of income and proof of address. So we just verify that the family is still within a county that we're eligible to service, and proof of income because this program is regulated by income set by the state requirements. So we just have to verify that before we can provide the funding to the families.
How long does it take to get approved to receive services from your program?
Yeah, so we usually work a month behind. So let's say a family called in right now in April, they would be serviced in May. And then once, we collect all this document, we collect a list of what it is that they're in need of that specific month in that fiscal year. We purchase everything for them. So that's another thing that we, right now, we can't just provide funding. Our program does purchase whatever it is that the families are in need of ourselves. So let's say families need clothing. They'll provide us with sizes. Sometimes they create shopping carts and we just go in and purchase it for them. I think this is just a way for the state to regulate and make sure that everything that we're providing to the families is going to the children.
How families can get in contact with your program?
Yeah, so there's a couple of different ways that you can reach out to us. The main and the best way is to call our direct line, which is the 201-398-9110 number. The extension I've provided here is for our navigator. And you can also email us directly to kinship@careplusnj.org or call 211 and they will forward the case to us.
Can you please go over the counties that these type of services are also available? Because I know that you mentioned it at the beginning, but I know there is a PowerPoint so everybody can see it.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's just a quick list again of the counties that we service. So it's all of northern New Jersey, which entails Warren, Sussex, Morris, Bergen, Passaic, and Hudson counties. So 6 full counties that we are able to service families in.
Paula, let's clarify this because when I had a conversation with you, it seems like families involved with DCP&P are not eligible for this type of services. Can you please clarify the reason for that?
Yeah, so the only reason we don't service DCP&P involved families is because if they are currently involved with DCP&P, there is an open case with them. DCP&P has the same program, has the ability to provide the same services that Kinship currently offers. So if they are enrolled with DCP&P, they'll usually utilize that funding through DCP&P. If they are currently with DCP&P and don't want to use them for Kinship, would like to go with Care Plus for Kinship, then we would just need them to close their case so that we can open them and service them ourselves.
Thank you for your clarification. And let's go back again as to who can qualify for the services, just to make sure everybody understands that information.
Right, yeah, so like I said, the only real requirements are it's for kin families, so anyone who has blood, marriage, or kinship legal guardianship relation to the children that they currently are taking care of and have custody of would qualify. So really, and I like to just kind of broaden that as non-bio parents. So if it's a grandparent taking care of a grandchild or an aunt taking care of a niece or nephew, sibling taking care of another sibling, or even a family friend taking care of their godchild or their friend's child. As long as there's some kin relationship between the caregiver and the child, they're eligible for services with our program.
Great, thank you very much for the information. I know the time is flying, so let's recap and then we're gonna have time for Q&A. So let's go over that information.
Yeah, so just once again, Kinship Navigator Program services kin family members, kin guardians who are taking care of children 17 and younger. We can service children that are 18 to 21 if they have some kind of a disability or any issues that are medical issues. We can usually service to 21, but if child has no known disabilities, we can service them up to the age of 18. Once they turn 18, we wouldn't be able to service them anymore. And any kin family really qualifies non-bio parents. So as long as the biological parents aren't currently living in the home with the guardians and the guardian has custody or a notarized letter from the biological parents stating that they can have guardianship of the children, we can service them. Our kinship wraparound services are a once a year service that we provide our families. So again, our fiscal year works from July 1st to June 30th, and we encourage our families to apply every single year for the funding. Right now, our funding went from $500 to $1,500 per household. So that has been a very helpful and useful increase in our budget to really help our families with whatever it is that they need. Typically for households of 2 or more children, $500 was really not enough to cover all of the necessities that they needed each year. But with $1,500, it has made a huge difference in our caregivers' yearly necessities. And we also provide kinship legal guardianship assistance for any caregiver that would like to take advantage of that legal process. And just to clarify, kinship legal guardianship is not quite adoption, and it's just a step above custody, where the biological parents do not lose their parental rights, but it does help solidify the rights of the caregivers, give them a little bit more decision-making power to take care of the children for medical emergencies, for educational purposes, and for low-income families, they could also qualify for a $250 subsidy each year per child, each month, I'm sorry, per child.
Paula, thank you very much for this information. And any final thoughts that you would like to share with us?
No, I mean, if any of you are, identify as a kinship guardian or know of anyone, please feel free to send them our way. We'd love to, help as many people as we can.
Thank you very much. And I just want to remind everybody that Paula's contact information is going to be right below the video. And if you have any questions, you're going to have all the information right below the video. And right now, I'm going to turn off the recorder so everybody had time for asking a question. So let me just go back here. Just give me 1 second, and thank you very much